Welcome to Samuels.here channel. Kevin Samuels was truly a truth seeker, and after many years of educating both men and women of all races, but particularly those of African descent, in the art of navigating the ever-complex dating world, he was sadly ripped from our lives as he was called back home to the Almighty in 2022. Some of us, myself included, instinctively recognized the truth of his message. Many found his message rather unpalatable. I am hoping with this channel to make his message that little bit more digestible in a more feminine and softer manner. I hope this helps my sisters in the Black community who saw him as an enemy. Being Black myself, I hope I can bridge that gap. And oh, by the way, my father was also called Samuel, so in a twist of fate, I pay tribute with this channel to my father, who is also where Kevin has gone. I love how the Icelandic have a way of acknowledging someone's daughter in the same way as someone's son. So I appropriate the Icelandic way to find a suitable name for my channel, Samuels.here, Samuel's daughter. Enjoy the video.
I am well. So, is it all your fault? Is it always women's fault, Kayla? Kyla. I'm sorry, Kyla.
Okay, hi. So, I do think we should take hold ourselves accountable. But I'm in this chat because I was with the guy for 7 years. He was a really good guy. And I wanted marriage, but it didn't happen.
Okay.
I ended it.
You ended it.
Yes.
Okay. So I gotta, how old are you?
35.
35. 7 years. How long ago did it end?
A year and a half now. January will be 2 years.
Oh, you marked the anniversary. Damn. You ended it. What is he doing now?
I don't know. He's grinding, as he always said.
So I gotta ask the question, sis. Did you go to college?
I did.
So did you know in college that you wanted to be a married woman?
I did.
You know the follow-up questions. Why'd you accept a man who wasn't marriage-minded?
He said he was. We talked about it. We talked about it from the beginning.
Okay.
And I just think over the years, I feel he wasn't ready for marriage. His excuse was always, I'm not where I want to be. You deserve somebody.
Oh, that's some game.
Yeah, I know.
That's some bullshit. No. Where's dad at, Kyla? Kyla?
Dad is here.
Okay.
My parents been together for 30
So
years.
did dad meet him?
Yes.
Did dad approve of him?
Yes,
Did you meet his mom and dad?
I did.
Okay, there's something off here. I got to do a little probing because the dad approved of him. Does that mean he was lying to dad too?
Yes, there's something odd, isn't there? This seems like a good man. He was approved by her parents, but he still somehow slipped through the net. He was that deceptive. Maybe there's something else behind the story. I have grown more and more skeptical. I don't believe the story until every fact is probed and checked out.
I guess so. My whole family approved of him. He was a good guy.
He was a good guy, but if you're saying you were talking about marriage, okay, let's move the football. In what time frame? Because it's one thing to talk about marriage as a global concept, but at the 2-year mark, you should be talking specifics.
You're right, and I was.
And then, but what happened there?
Very early on, we talked about it. He said, just give me a few. Let me get.
I want to go to year 2. I want to go to year 2.
Year 2.
Yep, year 2.
Year 2.
Okay.
Let's do this. What are we doing? What are we moving towards? He says, I do want to marry you, but I'm not in a predicament to marry you yet.
Okay. So what did your father say in year 2 when he said that to you?
honestly. He didn't say anything.
What does your dad do for a living?
He is a plasterer, construction work.
Does your mother earn more than him?
My mother is a registered nurse.
Does your mother earn more than him?
She does.
Okay.
Considerably more.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. How this should have worked was you should have gone into this sounding like you sound, but in year 2, if there was not a ring, you just walk. Let me tell you, ladies, one of the worst things you do is hanging on to men who tell you stuff that doesn't make sense. You know it didn't make any sense to be with him another 5 years. He still had access to your body, correct?
He did, yes.
Okay, but he wasn't paying the price.
You're right.
Honestly, why are we women so stupid? Look, he's right. There is a time when a woman should walk, and this is where you want something, marriage, and he wants to keep having the cookies without paying for it. So this is one time where a woman should walk. You must. But to wait another 5 years, well, it's your fault. You just wasted more time, your fertility time. Dreadful.
So this is where I got to go back to you, because even if dad dropped the ball, you're not a young girl. You met him at
26.
26. Yeah, come on, sis. And why am I hammering on this? Because this is going to be the template that you take into in other relationships.
I know. And that's where I want to make sure that I'm not doing things wrong. And I guess that's why I called in, because this topic is relatable. Am I at fault? I guess I am.
Yeah, you're at fault. You're at fault for. Okay, I think, especially for a man over age 30. How long? Well, let me ask you a question before I say anything. How long do you think it should take a man to propose?
I'm with the 1.5 years, 2 years. But I saw potential, and I wanted to be his backup.
I asked you, how long do you think it should take a man to propose?
1.5 years.
Okay, lean in. Let me talk to you. Lean in a little bit.
I know.
No, 6 months. A man knows whether or not he wants to be married or not. Men do not fall in love and decide to get married. That's what you guys do. Husbands go looking for wives. How many times have you heard stories where we met and under 30 days we were married? 6 months. 6 months.
So many times.
6 months. And then I know a lot of guys in the chat room, oh man, you got a vet and such and so forth. Those guys aren't husbands. I don't listen to guys who talk, let's go, man, with the way people are. Look, you can run any background check or anything you need to know about somebody with today's connected world and have the wealth of information. Because you can't know about it. You won't know anybody until you actually are married and move in together. You won't know the truth. So I reject when I see unmarried dudes that have never been married, talking about, oh man, that's going to take me at least 2 or 3 years. Then you carry your ass on over to wherever you think you'll find a sucker that's going to just say you don't want to be married, dude. They're not ready for it. And conversely, a lot of women have bought into this stuff. You don't have 2 or 3 years.
Well, I happen to think that this is a bit unrealistic, Mr. Samuels. In this day and age, a man proposing within 6 months, that's a fantasy. Look, women have to be patient in relationships. Sometimes the man genuinely isn't ready, especially if he's young. I would put the mark, as she said, between 1 year and 1.5 years. Sometimes up to 2 years. After 3, 4 years, for sure, you know he's just fooling you around, yes? But 6 months, Whew. You'll be lucky to find a man who's ready to marry within 6 months. That's just the reality of the dating world. That's just my opinion. What do you think?
It should take 6 months or less. So let me help the young women, young ladies. If you know you want to be married, lead with marriage. And don't deal with men who are not talking about marriage. Not as a global concept, but specifically, put a clock on it. I'm not telling, don't play games with men, but hey, if you're not talking marriage and so, I have people in my Facebook group who are dating already, and they're already talking. Marriage is a foregone conclusion of people in the group. These particular folks. So yes, it's your fault for letting it go on. But how do you get out of this ditch? First, are you in counseling or therapy? She muted herself. Let me unmute you. Are you in counseling or therapy?
Sorry, I don't know how I got on mute. I am not in any.
Oh.
I just kind of been trying to do it on my.
Nope. Let me say that again. Let me say it real loud so you can hear it. Your best thinking got you in the ditch you're in right now.
I know.
Why not go to therapy?
So I'm gonna go.
Because
I'm gonna go.
one, you're gonna have to completely bury this. How long have you guys been apart? 2 years?
Yeah, going on 2 years. Yes.
All right. So popular theory says about a third of the time you're with somebody is how long it takes to process it.
Yeah.
You want to make sure this is dead. Have you gone no contact with this person?
I have. It was dead. It was over for me long before, I ended it.
No, I just need to know that you're not. Are you guys communicating? Do you have visibility to one another?
No, we don't. We don't.
Then that's it. That's what I mean. So therapy to make sure you are clear. See, if you know you want to be married and have kids, how old did you say you were again?
35.
Yeah, see, no time to play. No time to play. Therapy has to happen. Do you actively work out?
I do.
All right, because fitness has to be on there. But this can be salvaged because let me give you the positive side. You have history of dealing with a man for a length of time. It was just the wrong man. There are plenty of women out there who have 2 or 3 months history with a man and they are serial daters. Those are the kind of women that really give me pause because they're not relationship people. You just have to reevaluate some things and make sure that you're not dragging in old memories to new situations, and 2, that you're very clear about what it is you want and why, and then what you have to offer, i.e. bring to the table.
It is very rare that Mr. Samuels agrees with the woman and declares the man she's talking about as a wrong-un, as a bad man. Now, I think we all agree, she wanted marriage, he didn't. He somehow deceived even her relatives, not just her. So she can't be completely at fault here. She is partly at fault, of course, for hanging around for so long. But let me just touch on something. For any young woman watching, I don't think it's possible to continue with such a long relationship with a man if you are not sleeping with him. Do you see the difference? Please, don't just give it up, because then you are at the mercy of the man. Why should you give away your most precious commodity for someone who doesn't take you up the aisle? Don't do it, and then you avoid such long relationships that go nowhere. This is one advice I would give my younger, more naive, more innocent sisters out there. Just don't do it. Say no, not only to drugs, also to the cookies.
Got it?
Got it. I have a lot to bring to the table.
Okay, well, that's for you to tell the people that want to get married. I'm just putting it out there for everybody else. All right. Thanks for calling in, sis.
So, as ever, there was a lesson to be learned from this video, which is, ladies, just don't ruin your chances by underselling yourself. You have a lot of worth, which is why men come after you in the first place. You're worth something to them. And that something is not to be given out at the very first post, at the very first contact with men. So this was this woman's mistake, I think, which is why her relationship lasted so long and it went nowhere. But look, the interchange or the exchange between her and Mr. Samuels was so cordial, agreeable. He, I think, actually liked her. He wanted to help her. He could see that she'd messed up, even though it wasn't entirely her fault, but he was willing to help her. This is good. This is rather positive. And I always comment, by the way, on the quality of the conversation itself. There's a reason for that. A big lesson for anyone, not just women listening. If you want someone to help you, be polite, be friendly, be agreeable. Then they're more willing to help you. That already is the first step. So good luck to this lady. I hope she wins in the end. Take care, everyone. By all means, take heart. It's not all negative out there. Ladies, remember to keep them legs shut. Very important. To everyone else, including women, of course, peace, harmony, and grace.